Recently, while I was browsing around for inspiration for a new video, I came across this website with a really interesting landing page concept. As you can see, the layout features this collection of items scattered across the screen in this messy, overlapping arrangement, and then there are 3 mode buttons at the bottom of the page. The default state is chaos mode, which is the scattered layout you see right now. When you switch over to the cleanup mode, all the items smoothly animate into a clean, organized layout where everything is neatly spaced out and the rotations are all reset. And then when you toggle to the notebook mode, everything moves back toward the center and stacks up at slight angles, almost like a loose file on a desk. And the cool thing is, you can keep switching between any of these 3 modes, and the items always transition smoothly from wherever they currently are into their new positions. Nothing snaps or jumps, it all just flows naturally. I found this concept really interesting and thought it would be a great use case for GSAP Flip, since the whole idea is really about animating between predefined layout states, which is exactly what Flip is built for. So over the weekend, I pulled together some assets from Figma's community resources and built my own version of this effect using JavaScript and GSAP Flip. Each mode is defined as a simple set of objects containing positions and rotations, and when you switch between modes, Flip captures the current state, applies the new layout, and then smoothly animates between the two. In this video, I'll walk you through the full build and show you how you can create these kinds of smooth layout transitions using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript powered by GSAP Flip. If you'd like to access the source code for this project, along with hundreds of other similar micro projects and a brand new website template every month, you can check out the Pro membership via the link in the description. And if you find my work helpful, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Alright, let's get into the code. Let's start with the HTML. For this project, the structure is pretty minimal since most of the heavy lifting happens through CSS positioning and JavaScript. First, I'll create a section with a class of desk. This is going to act as the main container for the entire layout. Inside that, I'll add a div with the class of header, and inside the header, I'll drop an h1 and a paragraph with some supporting text. Next, right after the header, I'll add all the individual items. Each one is a div with the class of item and a unique ID with an image tag inside pointing to the corresponding asset. I've got 11 items here in total, and the unique ID on each one is important because later in the JavaScript, we'll use those IDs to assign each item a specific position and rotation for each layout mode. Then outside this section, I'll add a div with the class of modes to hold our 3 toggle buttons. Each button gets a data mode attribute that tells our script which layout it should trigger, either chaos, cleanup, or notebook. The first button also gets an active class by default since chaos is our starting state, and we'll toggle that class between buttons later through JavaScript. And that's all we need for the HTML. So with that in place, let's move on to the styling. First, I'm importing 2 typefaces for this layout, tmsense and instrument serif. Then I'll define a few CSS variables for the color palette, and after that, I'll reset the default spacing and set border box sizing, apply tmsense as the main body font, set the background color, and make all images fill their containers using object fit contain. Next, for the desk section, I'm giving it relative positioning since all the items inside will be absolutely positioned. It takes up the full viewport height, and I'm capping the width at 1400 pixels and centering it horizontally. Then for the header, I'm positioning it absolutely as well, giving it a fixed width of 400 pixels, centering the text, and stacking the heading and paragraph vertically with a small gap. I'm also setting pointer events to none so the header doesn't interfere with any click or drag interactions on the items behind it. And a z-index of 10 keeps it above the scattered items. For the h1, I'm switching to instrument serif to give it a more editorial feel, setting a large font size and tight line height. And for the paragraph, I'm keeping it small with a relaxed line height and using muted gray color. Next, for each item, I'm setting it to absolute positioning, and I'm also adding wheel change for top, left, and transform. This hints to the browser that these properties are going to be animated frequently, which helps keep the flip transition smooth. Then for the modes container, I'm fixing it to the bottom of the viewport, centering it horizontally with the usual left 50% and translate X trick, and giving it a z-index so it always stays on top. For the buttons themselves, I am giving each one a fixed size, the off-white background, a subtle border, and rounded corners. There is also a small scale down effect on the active pseudo class for a bit of tactile feedback when you click. and when a button has the active class, the background fills in with the slightly darker shade so you can see which mode is currently selected. Finally, I will add a couple of responsive adjustments. On screens narrowed than 1400 pixels, I am hiding horizontal overflow on the desk so nothing bleeds out. And on screens below 1000 pixels, I am adding a semi-transparent overlay on top of the desk using a pseudo element and desaturating all the items. This is just a simple way to keep things looking clean on smaller screens where the scattered layout doesn't quite look well. And that covers the CSS. So now let's move into the JavaScript and start building the layout switching logic. I'll import GSAP and the Flip plugin and register Flip with GSAP so we can use it. I will also grab references to all the DOM elements we need. That includes the desk container, the header, all the items, and the mode buttons. I'm also creating a Flip targets array that combines the header and all the items into one list. This is the group of elements whose state will capture and animate whenever we switch between modes. And then I'll set up an active mode variable to keep track of which layout is currently applied. We'll start with chaos. Next, I need to define the sizes for each item. Since each item is a different object like a CD or a passport or a music player, they all need different dimensions to look right. So I am creating a simple object where each key is the item's ID and the value is its size in pixels. Now here is the main piece of data that drives the entire layout. We need an arrangements object that defines the exact position and rotation for every item in each of 3 modes. Each mode has a header config with an X and Y position and a center flag that tells us whether the header should be centered at that point. And then it has an items array where each entry specifies the ID, the X and Y position as percentages of the desk container and a rotation value in degrees. Now I'll be honest, these values aren't calculated or generated. I came up with all of these through trial and error. I actually built a small debugger for each state and adjust positions and rotations until everything looked right to my eye. So these are just the numbers I landed on after playing around with the layout for a while. You will notice that in the chaos mode, items have varied rotations and are spread out across the full area. In the cleanup mode, all rotations are set to 0 and items are evenly distributed. And in the notebook mode, everything clusters toward the center with moderate rotations. Now let's write the function that actually applies these layouts. I'll call it setLayout and it takes in the mode name as an argument. First thing inside, I'll grab the current width and height of the desk container and pull out the layout data for the requested mode. Then I need to handle the header positioning. This part is a little more involved because the header needs to behave differently depending on the mode and the screen size. If we are on mobile, I always want the header centered on the screen regardless of the mode. Otherwise, I check the center flag from the layout data. If center is true, I offset the header by half its own width and height so it sits perfectly centered at the specified point. If center is false, like in the cleanup mode where the header sits to the right, I skip that offset. I then convert the percentage-based X and Y values into actual pixel positions relative to the desk size, subtract the offsets, and use GSAP's set method to apply the position. After the header, I loop through all the items in the layout. For each one, I convert its percentage-based X and Y to pixel values, apply the width and height from our item sizes object, and set the rotation. Again, all of this is done using GSAP's set method, which applies the values instantly without any animation. The reason we are not animating here because this function only sets the raw positions. The actual animation is handled separately by Flip, which we'll look at next. Now let's write the switch mode function. This is where the Flip magic happens. First, if the requested mode is the same as the current one, we just return early since there is nothing to do. Otherwise, the first step is to capture the current state of all our Flip targets using the Flip's getState method. This takes a snapshot of where everything is right now, including positions, sizes, and rotations. Then we call setLayout with the new mode, which instantly moves everything to its new positions. After that, we call Flip's from method and pass in the old state we captured. Flip captures that old snapshot with where the elements are now and creates a new smooth animation between the two. For the animation settings, I'm using a duration of 1.25 seconds with a power 3 easing, which gives it that nice slow start, fast middle, and slow end feel. I'm also adding a small stagger with from set to center, which means items closer to the center of the group start moving first and it ripples outward. And the absolute flag tells Flip to use absolute positioning during the animation, which prevents layout shifts while things are in motion. Finally, we update the active mode variable so we know which layout is currently active. With those functions in place, we can now set the initial layout by calling setLayout with chaos. This positions everything on load without any animation. Then I'll add click listeners to each of the mode buttons. When a button is clicked, I first remove the active class from all buttons, then add it to the one that was clicked, and then call switch mode with that button's data mode value. And lastly, I will add a resize listener that reapplies the current layout whenever the window size changes. This makes sure the percentage based positions stay correct if you resize the browser. And that's the entire build. Hope you found the video helpful. See you in the next one.